Hello, Seed FM ambassadors and emissaries of light, and also our Purple Heart consciousness holders. I am just so happy to be with you today and just to celebrate a momentous occasion for us. Last year, this time, we were sitting, our leadership, saying that we need to be a part of this thing called Giving Tuesday. And here we are. We are a part of Giving Tuesday, and there is a wonderful opportunity for us all to make a difference. In 2020, we've set some new intentions, and those new intentions include more and more good unfolding. Ernest Holmes says, within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it. We gave birth to this idea of Giving Tuesday, participating in it. And I'm inviting you to join us and partner with us in terms of allowing the limitless possibilities to unfold for this ministry. Your gift of $10 or more can make a difference in this ministry. If you don't have the $10, $5 will really support us. It will support us in growing this ministry, creating a wonderful foundation. What this will do is it will support us with the maintenance of our Purple Heart app. It will support us with the launching of our new parenting classes that will be rolled out within the next month. We will also be able to do other things like expand that Power 8 group. We meet twice a week and do wonderful work. We'll be doing that. And of course, Larry Hobby has his book study, Expanding Consciousness book study, and he has some wonderful book studies to share with everyone via webinar. We have a legacy program. These are just a few of the wonderful things that are unfolding here in this ministry. What I'd like to do is I want to share a special video from this past year. It was with an interview with an elder in our community, Miss Patti Walton, who turned 80 years old. And I want to share with you her perspective about life and about what we do and how these teachings have benefited her. We thank Patti for being that wonderful, rich presence and inspiration in our life, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much. So, Patti?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to ask you about retirement, but you kind of got a little resistant with that word retirement. Tell me about that.
I did look at that word retirement, and somewhere along the way I did read that the word retirement is not in the Bible, which means people didn't retire. They just went on from one level to another level. It was a process. Or as we and Larry and Kanetta said in our practitioner training, it was an ever-expanding consciousness. So I don't think of retirement. I might say retirement, but retirement I don't truly relate, because as I have expressed, as long as I'm living, I'm going to put one foot in front of another. I'm going to be doing something, good, bad, or indifferent. Patti with an I.
Okay. Well, Patti with an I am just so curious because I would love for you to share with me more about, you were part of the, is it Healthy Choice program?
Healthy Start program.
Healthy Start, forgive me.
It was an offshoot from Black Infant Health.
Mm-hmm.
Black Infant Health, there was a high infant mortality in those days in particular. We're talking about 60s. Maybe not 60s, even later than that. Anyway, there was it was the study made, and there was a high infant mortality rate in lower income people. And the program was put together for, I'm thinking about it. Actually, I was working for the forestry department, And the program came out, and I applied for it. And the idea was, the training program was, they would take college people and put them with young people. And that's another whole story too. I told you, things just kind of flow. But you asked me about Healthy Start. And that was when I was going through prac training. That's where that came in. So like I said, my brother teased me, my youngest brother always teased me about I'm always going to school. That came out of a program where I was in prac training, and I was utilizing these tools, and I didn't have a car at that time, but I needed a job, and I saw this ad in the paper, a little tiny ad in the Precinct Reporter. And they were interviewing for people to take on the task of going into the lower income neighborhoods. There were 5 particular zip codes. And my prayer through practitioner training was I needed to go. I wanted to learn something new. I wanted to be of service to the public. And I needed training to be right close where I didn't have to take a bus or I didn't have to go very far. And it just happened that this training took place where I could walk to the training. So that's part of active visioning, having confidence in what I've learned in prac training. And it empowered me to know the truth of the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And at that time I had a little dog, her name was Lady, and she would follow me over to the school. And the people would shoo her away because she's just a little dog, and they finally found out that she was my dog. Then she became a mascot. Because she would come over and hang out and come back home. And just and how dogs are, she just about knew the time for me to come out, and she would come over and walk me back home.
Oh, wow. That's just like your mom always. I remember you telling the story about your mother growing up. She never worried about you when you went to the store because the dogs would escort you there and escort you home.
Yeah, that was another one of my adventures. I don't know where these dogs came from. I was just above. They were big dogs. I was just above them. I would whistle. There's 5 of them. They would come from, I don't know where they came from. They would go with me everywhere I wanted to go. And when I got back home, they would just disappear again.
Wow.
And it was always interesting to see how people would cross the street when they saw this little person coming down the street with all these dogs around her. So I guess I was an early dog whisperer and didn't know the title at that time.
I think so. And then even with this program, the Healthy Start program, what did you do in that Healthy Start program for those mothers?
We would be assigned different, we call them clients. And we were known as CHOW, CHOW, Community Health Outreach Workers. Our purpose was to go and visit these women, stay with them through their pregnancy, and a reason for because they're low birth, women weren't always able to take care of themselves to go to the doctor, and then after the child was born, go into and make sure they got the immunization and work with them for the child.
Wow.
Up to 2 years old.
Wow.
And that's about that time I had completed the practitioner training, and I was beating myself up because I didn't actually go into the licensing part of it. However, it served its purpose because I was able to go into the neighborhood not knowing who I would see, not knowing what's going to be on the other side of that door. So I took with me the lesson. When I knocked on the door, I would say, "The God in me meets and greets the God in you."
I love it.
So with my prac training, I took it to the street. And it's amazing. I don't think of myself as being a preachy type person, but evidently I have said enough to these women that they gave the lessons back to me on times that I was kind of down.
Wow.
And I thought that I was very grateful for that. I really was. Because you wonder if people are really listening to you or taking in what you're hearing. And that was a blessing. It really was a blessing. And I enjoyed it immensely.
Wow. Wonderful. So you were actually you were a pioneer. We're talking about social activism. That's our theme for 2019. And many centers in the New Thought movement, the Centers for Spiritual Living, we've adopted that theme. And of course, we are asserting ourselves in the world with wonderful service programs and projects which we're working on. But you, in essence, were a pioneer in that area with the work that you did with this group. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. It was a great experience.
Hello, Purple Heart Consciousness holders, CFM ambassadors and emissaries of light. I hope you enjoyed that video. I want to remind you of the quote by Ernest Holmes, and he says, "Within us is the unborn possibilities of limitless experiences. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it." And I believe Patti's life experience is an example of that. This is our intention. Every time we show up as a ministry, to show up in that way and to touch many, many lives as Patti's. Your donation will make a difference. So if you will, just make a donation to us today. We will appreciate it. Thank you. Namaste.